Hey, what's up, guys? So, before I get started on this crazy journey, be sure to give me the three fingers of fucking pleasure that you can give me through your keyboard. Fucking comment, like, and a sub. One in stink, two in pink. You know where it's at. Now, see, back when I was in high school, I got myself into a wee bit of trouble here and there. I actually did quite well in high school, though, towards the end. I graduated with honors and all that, and I graduated a year early. All my friends were complete truants, so they never graduated at all, for the most part, anyways. Yeah, I even did a first year college psychology when I was in grade 12 because I didn't have many electives left. Before that, I went to a couple alternative schools. I went to about 5 different high schools altogether. And one I went to was out in Kitsilano. And if you know anything about Vancouver, you grew up in this area, you know the people in Kits like to party. And they're fucking loaded because their parents are fucking rich. So I started dealing MDMA. It wasn't quite MDMA, it was triple press tabs, but these were the cleanest press caps I've ever tried. They literally were just like brown sugar MDMA pressed into a cap. Like they're literally like you could just push a card down on them and they'd just turn into powder. They're very, very popular. I remember selling hundreds of dollars worth of them like every night. And so that made my ex, the drug dealer at the time, very jealous, naturally, because she can't stand to see anyone succeed where she, has some shortcomings. But maybe if she wasn't spending all the money she made on heroin, she wouldn't have so many shortcomings. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, after I had my first split with her, my dealer was like, dude, you're fucking selling more of these caps than I sell in wholesale. What do you think about cocaine? And this was back when I started getting into cocaine myself. His cocaine was very good. And it wasn't too expensive. I think it started off for me at like $1,200 an ounce, and then like $1,000 an ounce after that, because I was moving at least an ounce a week, and in small increments too. Like I'd mostly sell kind of just like key bumps and stuff to people while we were at school. It was a really a blessing and a curse, because what was a 17-year-old hooligan of a misfit like me gonna do with all that money, $2,500 every week? Well, of course, buy a bottle and set aside an 8-ball for myself every day, do it, and then wake up and go to school in the most hungover state ever. But like my buddy at that school he was selling ketamine, so I just traded him cocaine for ketamine, and that would kind of take care of my hangover. But I didn't last long at that school, needless to say, though, because I got busted in the stupidest way ever. I got a call in class, and I had just gone out to use the washroom, and it was grade 12 biology, and my teacher was also the principal at the school. And she was quite uptight. But so she saw me go to the washroom again because I got a text from a friend who was looking to buy some weed, because I was selling weed at the time too. And so I go off the school property, I go around the corner, and the extent of the conversation was, "You got weed?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got weed. I'll drop by the school that she went to later on." And principal hears that, turn around, she's standing there like arms crossed, like very dismissive look, very judgmental look. "Oh, you've got weed, do you?" So she gets the officer at the school to slap me in cuffs and sit me down, lecture me, go through my stuff, but unbeknownst to them, I had an 8-ball of Coke in my jacket pocket, and it was in a little film container because, as I said, I was mostly selling bumps. And the good thing about that is you can explain that away as recreational use because it's not all bagged up. I also was able to kind of do that with the weed because it was, I believe I had a half ounce and it was just all in one bag. But in any case, they slipped out of the room for about 10 seconds, and that gave me enough time to swing the handcuffs under my legs, grab the Coke, crotch it, and I actually had a couple flaps too. They got all covered in ball sweat, but it was better than, getting nabbed for them because they probably would have charged me if they found that. As far as they were concerned, I was just selling weed. But little did they know. But that kind of ended my days as a cocaine dealer, and that's probably for the better because I was getting very just I was self-immolating really with all that money and nothing but a desire for intoxicants at the time in my life. But you want to hear something cool though is I had this kind of sugar mama who was also my drug dealer, and she mostly sold prescription pills to very elite people. And we didn't date. She was 35, I was 16, but she would buy me stuff and we hung out all the time. She honestly is the only I've met a lot of meth users, but the only functional meth user I've ever met. She doesn't even look like she does meth. I don't hang out with her very much because of the meth part now, but anyways, she had a lot of connections, and one of those connections was this guy, and I remember he was a very weird dude. He apparently was the hookup for anyone performing at GM Place. And so she said that he needed some Coke. I had to connect. She really liked my Coke. So I get a sample and I get a text from this guy saying, that's quadruple A plus shit. Give me an ounce. So I do, and I think he paid me an extra $500 or something. I didn't deliver it to him. I met with him beforehand. I gave it to her and then she delivered it. But this guy, man, for such a rich, well-connected guy, he was so socially awkward. He lived in his parents' basement. He was in his mid-30s, and he had nothing but stuffed animals just covering the walls. And so anyways, a little bit of time passes. I don't talk to her, and then I hear that apparently my cocaine, my ounce, went to Lady Gaga of all fucking people. Not that I'm necessarily a huge fan of hers or anything, but I was just oh, neat. It's kind of the closest brush I really had at the celebrity. And it just so happened to result in me scoring them a large amount of blow. Since then, I work at a place where we supply cannabis and gray area psychedelic products, stuff like that. But we really operate within the rules as much as possible. We have understandings with local law enforcement. It's very, my province is very liberal when it comes to that stuff. Psychedelics, yes, are still Schedule 1, so we do have to be careful. That was really my only days as a full-on career drug dealer. I guess you could say that's my job now, but it's not quite as cut and dry as that. Anyways, I thought you guys would find that entertaining, and that was back in the days where because I do cocaine now. I do very good cocaine now. I love good cocaine. But I used to be terrible at doing it. It used to be that if I had a gram, it would last about 10 minutes. Now, Like last night, for example, I got a half gram of fucking fine ass shit. Made it last all night and gave a ton of bumps away. It's more so like an energy drink for me now. Like it's like I take a whiff every hour, and that's it. I just don't fiend for it. I think I managed to sort of rewire my brain with psychedelics that way. I mean, at the same time, I'm ethically against cocaine. It's like really, really sabotaging Guatemala, the Amazon, pretty much all the countries down there, but particularly Colombia. And I think it's very silly that our culture continues to use cocaine as much as we do, because I remember doing methadone when it was legal, and it was very, very similar. The only thing I didn't like about methadone was it made my lips blue. It kind of sketched me out a bit. But I mean, there are so many synthetic alternatives. I think people just want to pay for that novelty of something that's harvested and produced by cartel, honestly. I mean, it's a finite source like oil, and it's also, something that's very impactful on the surrounding communities. Kids are brought up to learn how to press cocaine and to be mules. It's really unfortunate, and I don't have to tell you about the horrors of, the Mexican drug cartels, the cocaine cowboys of the 80s, 90s. Those are some of the nastiest people you can ever encounter on this planet. So, I mean, if I had access to an alternative that was synthetic, I'd totally do it in a heartbeat. I can get 3-MMC if I want. I can order it legally because it's legal in my Canada, it's legal in Canada, my country. But honestly, I didn't like it too much. It was like a little too fiendy and a little too strong. Yeah, I mean, good old cocaine is classic. Can't go wrong as long as it's hella pure. I used to do, because my buddy's dad was a cocaine wholesaler from Honduras. He's probably one of the scariest people I've ever met. But he used to give us stuff that's straight off the brick. And especially if you have ADD, good cocaine is not supposed to make you speedy, but it just kind of calms you down, chills you out, makes you feel very euphoric. So yeah, in that regard, good stuff. In terms of the fact that it's being just mined from the planet and is causing a lot of mayhem in the process, I do not abide that. But as I said, people just, they want to pay for novelty. And it's also, I think the reason that it's remained so expensive despite being so readily available and abundant is that it's always being associated with the elite and celebrities. Like, you're rich if you can afford cocaine on a Saturday, Sunday night. It's expensive stuff. Ketamine now is about the same price, so except ketamine lasts a lot longer. I find, anyways. Very different. Two very different things, though. They both go together quite well. Anyways, I got a friend trying to get in touch with me. I will catch you cats later, and that's a little fun little tidbit for you of my life. Bye-bye.